I've closed over, I think, close to $50,000 in sales this year already. When that's only from like 2 months of you guys
2 months
actually
wrapping
ramping
up
it, like
from
you guys actually ramping up the full scale. It's really changed for me. It's just knowing that one way or another, I'm gonna get deals. If that makes sense. It's either I'm gonna either go out there and knock, which I do, and then or I know whenever I get a homeowner from Clive or a home, client or lead from Clive, I know it's gonna close. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind knowing one way or another you're gonna have income.
Hey everyone, my name is Elijah Kim. I'm a co-founder of Clive Systems, and today I'm super excited to be interviewing one of our most successful clients that's been with us for over a year now, which is incredible to say that. This is one of our long-term partners, Fidel, and he was able to go from, before working with only one previous marketing agency who only generated one lead for him. He's also like struggling a little bit with his time being bottlenecked with door knocking, not getting a lot of consistent lead flow through that lead source, to now, a year later, has closed over 100K in pipeline revenue from our system, and another 100K or 50K from this year alone in the last few months working with us. To now having consistent, predictable marketing system that is getting him closer to his personal and professional goals with the business he's trying to build, which we'll actually get into in the call today. So yeah, they joined me today to talk to me and to you guys more about how they are able to do that. So thanks for coming on, Fidel.
Oh no, hey, thanks for inviting me, man. It's
Yeah,
always fun to get on these talks and be on camera, right?
yeah, for sure. It's almost like a podcast.
Yeah.
First off, what I'd like the audience to know, just tell us a little bit about your story, kind of what your market is, who you help, where you guys are based out of.
So we're a family-owned business. We started back in 2017, but we weren't doing really sales. We were subcontractors for other roofing companies. And then after maybe roughly 4 years ago, I got into sales myself, and my father had helping me out as well. So we met, obviously we service the Columbus and surrounding area, so anything Columbus an hour, give or take. And so what we do is just like most roofers in most states, we're insurance restoration specialists, which we like to do is if when there's a big hailstorm, windstorm, we like to help get homeowners get new roof, siding, or gutters, or whatever might have been damaged in the storms. For as low as a homeowner's deductible.
Yep.
That's the market here in Ohio. Things are changing. Obviously, insurance companies are raising, deductibles or changing policies, but at the end of the day, still one of the better routes to go to if you want to get a roof replaced or siding or gutters if you have any damage.
Yeah, so you guys are kind of mainly focusing on, of course, insurance
Mm-hmm.
specialists and restoration, but of course, if there's overtime and a lot of our leads too, there have been retail opportunities as well,
Yeah.
which I know you guys can handle. So I
Yeah.
guess kind of going into kind of your previous before working with us, what was your main method of marketing, prior to working with Clive? Can you kind of be more
So
specific?
marketing, I mean, I really didn't have any marketing, if I'm being honest. Like I said, I hired one other previous company to do, I guess, generate leads is the best way I can put it. But they generated me a whole bunch of leads, and like out of those, maybe 30 leads to send my way. I won't say one was actually a legit lead, and I was able to sign him as a retail deal. The rest were just, either spam numbers or bot number, whatever. It was
Yeah.
just basically, it was AI doing its thing. Maybe just filling out questionnaire forms and sending my way. And I did that for about a month and a half, maybe 2 months. They wasn't really giving anything, so I fired them. Then I went a few months without nothing, and so I just went back to door knocking. And I was getting some leads there, here and there, but like sometimes the weather or your times you just don't have time to door knock it. Whatever it is, what it is. And then after a few months, I think I found you guys last year. You said in June or July,
Yeah,
give or
June or
take.
July.
Yeah, something like that.
First
And then
met.
we started running. And then we started running the ads like near beginning or end of August. So we ran for like a few months. And we were able to get some leads out of there.
Yeah, and that's when we got that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course during the winter time there was that period.
Mm-hmm.
Of course for different markets too, it
Yeah,
could be different during that period. Sometimes winter is the same. Others, makes more sense to do different, kind of campaign optimizations during that time. But kind of going back into that, what would you say marketing wise? You said you're only using one lead company that didn't really work out too well, and then you went to
yeah.
door knocking. What would you say is the biggest problem you're facing during that period of your business,
Uh,
that
I
point?
guess I tell myself I consider myself seasoned pro, but when it comes to door knocking, no one's really good at it unless you really enjoy it. I don't enjoy door knocking, but I do it because it's a good way to make money and generate new leads. But I tell people door knocking. before after I fired that lead company, that was my main goal, my main way of getting leads, and it's a struggle sometimes because after you go out there for 2, 3 hours knocking, getting consistent no's, or people just yelling at you off the property, or bad mouthing you, it gets kind of irritating, and you come home and you're like, do I really want to do it again tomorrow? So
Mm.
if you when you have something such as something set up like a system, like like what you guys do, it's perfect because even if you do go door knocking, don't get nothing for the whole week, at least potentially someone's seeing your stuff, and before you know it, someone's going to book an appointment, and you're going to be able to get in front of them and just show them, I guess, your worth, for showing them a solution to their problem.
Right. Yeah, it's more like the homeowners have an actual expectation about who you
Yeah,
are, your brand name, rather than being complete cold. It's
yeah,
basically a complete cold prospect when you knock on their doors, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Obviously the motivation part too, especially if
yeah.
you had other sales reps to motivate and getting that can be
Mm-hmm.
a big hassle for some roofing companies out there. So what would you say the number one differentiator about the Clive Systems program and what we did is compared to other marketing methods you've done before?
So obviously you guys are, and, well, from if the way I'm gonna put it, obviously maybe you guys are, you don't, I don't know if you guys still run the same thing, but you guys really are paid per lead. It's obviously, let's say I show up to an appointment, and it's happened a few times, but nothing's perfect out there. I show up to an appointment, a homeowner, he's totally unqualified. He might have been qualified through you guys might have vetted him, but he was actually unqualified when I showed up to home. And he's like, he was looking to get something different than what I was actually offering. I let you guys know, and you guys don't charge me for them. Other companies will be like, well, that's not our fault. We got you the lead. You could have done something with it. So it really is pay per lead, and so as a thing, if you're really show up, and then when I show up to appointments, I do my due diligence and make sure the homeowner's also qualified and wants to do it, and I get charged for the lead. That's how it is. Nothing in this world is free, but I know what I signed up for.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
That paper performance partnership.
Yeah.
So what would you say, I guess other than that, what other parts of the program, kind of stood out to you, you feel like we did well on, or just other parts you love most about the program?
Oh, the lead. Obviously, you guys generating your the campaigns and putting the ads out there on Facebook. I love, obviously, something I wouldn't be able to do. Maybe my wife might be able to do that, but I can't do that. She's my tech person sometimes. That's the first thing. And then the next thing, I love when you guys actually call and actually vet the homeowners, because like I would say roughly to 95% of the time, the homeowners are vetted. They do know that I'm going out there. They do know what I'm going out there for, and then you guys even follow up like an hour before the appointment to make sure they know I'm going out there. And you guys do you guys literally do the back end work that everybody hates doing sometimes.
Yeah.
And then once I show up there, then that's the best part, because now I know this homeowner has been reminded from the day he booked the appointment to now that I was going to be out there, and he should be expecting me. And then obviously when they do cancel, you guys right away message me, or send me an email, or do some sort of notification, let me know not to even go to those appointments. So it makes my day a little bit easier as well. So I don't have to drive an hour, wherever it is I'm going to somewhere, and then there's nothing for me to do there.
Right. Yeah. Ultimately, what we want, you focus on, of course, all of our partners is at the end of the day, we handle all the back end while you just focus on showing up to that
Mm-hmm.
appointment
Yeah.
and closing the sale, right?
Yeah.
Really what you do guys, what you do best. So, what kind of going into the numbers, how many total appointments, leads have you seen, in our program? If you kind of get a rough estimate, and then also out of those leads, how many jobs have you closed so far?
Yeah. So once you guys actually ramp up and do everything, I'm getting roughly between 1 to 2 leads a week, which in my opinion, that's perfect for my size and for what I can handle. Obviously other companies like they might want, five a week or whatever, or maybe 5 a day. I'm not sure what they're looking for. So that's what really, for me, that's what really I really liked. Obviously, just knowing for sure that if I'm going to spend money on Facebook ads, I mean, no, I'm going to actually get in front of somebody. So like I said, and then I feel like I've closed. I know we talked about it. We're I think close to $50,000 in sales this year already. When that's only from like 2, 3 months of 2 months
Yeah,
of you guys
2 months
actually
wrapping
ramping
up
it. If you
from
guys actually ramping up the full scale, actually running the ads and trying to just bombard as much homeowners to get someone's attention. Because before, during the wintertime, we were just doing maybe $5 or $10 a day, which
yeah.
I don't think we were really getting much people in interaction, but it was still there because at least as soon as it ramped up, at least somebody would see it. So I guess out of those 2 to 5, if out of the month I'll maybe close 1 to 2 a month, which a lot of people are like, well, that's terrible. In my opinion, like you said, it's 20 to 30% close rate. That's what the average sales or close rate is for most people. No one's like no one. At least if you're doing 50%, you're the best sales guy out there.
It's ultimately a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
And of course, it depends on your marketing costs and everything. And yeah,
Hmm.
if you're maintaining the KPIs, that's the
Yeah.
most important thing. And
Yeah.
at 20-30%, like
Hmm.
you're definitely going to be profitable at that point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome. And you know how approximately also potential pipeline revenue, because that's not counting also
Hmm.
the quotes that are pending, right?
Yeah.
How much contract pipeline value did you have lined up? Do you know off the top of your head?
What do you mean by lined up?
Like estimates you've given out there the
Yeah.
last, basically in the longevity.
I mean, I'll be honest. Probably, maybe if like that might actually come through. Maybe 20 or 30 thousand dollars more. But some of these have been a little bit more the follow up game. I followed up already a few times. After you follow up 2 or 3 times, you kind of get the hint that it's not going to go nowhere. But like you never know. Sometimes someone is just late. I call them late bloomers, and they finally reach out and do something.
Sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we still got potential
Mm.
pipeline 30K.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always tell our clients too is the money's made in the follow-up, right? Because a lot of the times it
Yeah.
really do take persistence and needs more follow-up to eventually get in as a contract signed, right?
Yeah.
I guess how like from before, you mentioned being a bit demotivated from the door knocking side of things, but on taking a lot of your time. What would you say how your life's changed personally since getting these results and working with us?
So personally, I tell people personally, I still differentiate my life from work, even though my wife probably says otherwise. But what I've really was really changed for me is just knowing that one way or another, I'm gonna get deals, if that makes sense. Because either I'm gonna either go out there and knock, which I do, and then or I know whenever I get a homeowner from Clive or a home, client or lead from Clive, I know it's gonna close. So it gives you a little bit of peace of mind knowing one way or another you're gonna have income as
Mm.
long as you're putting in the work.
Yeah.
So that's how I say change my business perspective or get my I wouldn't say personal life, but I'll just say my business life, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like kind of your outlook on how you view
Yeah.
your business
Mhm.
personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And where would you think you'd be today if you didn't join the program, last June?
No, honestly, I wouldn't be doing as much sales as I was doing. So this year, if everything goes right, I probably will hit my sales goal. Last year, I hit it. I will say that had to do with you guys as well. And this year, everything is kind of point. I'm more than halfway there. So if I hit the sales goal there, because it'd be great. So I was still doing sales, but I probably wouldn't be doing as high or as much sales I would want.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's great. We're very honored to be a part of that obvious, growth trajectory. So
Yeah.
last question I got, Fidel, for the audience. This is a great one for especially anyone watching this. So let's imagine there's, another roofer on the other side of the screen right now watching this interview, and they
Yeah.
were on the fence about, maybe booking a call or taking that next step about, speaking to
Mhm.
our team about joining the program potentially. What would you say to that person?
If you're scared, scared money doesn't make money. Like you probably hear it all the time. So I tell people. So if you want to take so here's one thing I tell people: if you're going to take the jump, take the jump. Book the appointment. I mean, worst case scenario, you don't. They book the appointment with you, and they don't like what they hear. That's fine. At least they got to know and have all the right information out there to make the best decision. But if you're going to be in this line, you got to spend money to make money, which is obvious. But you got to make sure that um, it's all about connection and getting to meet the right people. Because if I didn't meet you, I wouldn't have my Facebook would not be running leads or ads whatsoever.
Hmm.
So I always tell homeowners, take the call. I mean, the homeowners contractors take the call, let them hear out what they have to say. It's not for you, it's not for you. But I guarantee you that if you want to spend a little money on ads, they'll get you in front of however many homeowners you think you want to get, or however many homeowners they think they can get you in front of. So just go for it. It's the best part it's one of the best decisions I've made so far. I'm not gonna say it's not.
Amazing. Well, we appreciate that. We'll leave it at that. Thanks so much, Fidel, for the great words, and we look forward to getting more business
Yeah, yeah, for sure, man.
through the partnership. So, everyone, thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Fidel, for letting me interview you today. So, if you're watching this, again, and you're potentially interested, you're on that fence,
Hmm.
definitely click the link below, book a call, talk with our team to understand more about what we do, and
Hmm.
we'll be able to do a deep dive and understand your specific situation to see, you could benefit from a program like ours. So, yeah, thanks and talk soon, everyone.